Hey, DC Wright-Hammer here. So for the last 7 or 8 weeks, I've had writer's block. I haven't felt like writing the fantasy novel that I've been super excited about all year. And I was trying to figure out why for that entire time, and it dawned on me like about a week ago, and I've figured it out. So let's talk about it. So, what do I mean by writer's block? Basically, you sit down to write and the words just don't come out, or you don't even feel like writing. In fact, you make excuses to not write. You do everything else. Suddenly, washing dishes seems more exciting than diving into the story you're trying to write. And obviously, as writers, as authors, that is not a normal circumstance for us. As someone who wrote 275,000 words for two novels over the course of 3+ years, I do know how to pump out a book. And so when I get stumped, when I get stuck like this, it really does rub me the wrong way. I want to figure out what's going on and get to the bottom of it. What I did and what I think other writers should do if they experience something like writer's block is to take account of your life. Now, back in October, I had accepted a promotion at my job, and that meant changing positions, changing the people that I normally work with, the things I normally do. And so that was really taking a lot of my mental cycles away that I might have allocated in the evening to writing my novel. And back in July, I had moved into a new home, and new homes usually have a lot of maintenance to do. And I got the initial maintenance done when we first moved in, but after a couple months, 3, 4 months settling in, there's just things that you have to get to. And then there's everything else from family to friends and a social life to a global pandemic to social unrest and everything else that's going on in the world today. So, with everything going on, I said, let me give myself a break. And so, for a solid month, 5 weeks, I just said, whatever, I write when I write, and I don't write when I don't feel like writing. But as time went on, I realized there was actually something bugging me about the writing, and I figured out what it was. So I've been doing quite a bit of reading lately, and one of my big pet peeves is when exposition is just given. There's just paragraphs of just telling us what we need to know rather than letting the story show us and naturally give us the information that we need as readers. Instead, you get blocks of dialogue, you get blocks of explanation, and I've really come to dislike that. I've really come to just, get frustrated. I'll get through those parts of the books, but I'm a bigger fan, the whole show don't tell, the whole let the story naturally just put us where we need to be with the information we need to understand the story, maybe make some guesses as to where it's going. And so I found in my fantasy novel that I always looked forward to cool dialogue and how are the characters interacting and what are they going to say next and how am I going to develop their characters like that. And then I would get to the in-between phases where they would have to travel, where they would have to be alone with their thoughts. And that's where I would struggle. And I actually came to a part in the chapter I was writing where I did need to give some scenery. I need to do some world building be above and beyond the characters just chatting and giving information. I needed to sort of set the scene and all that. And I found myself kind of paralyzed trying to do that because I didn't want to, have too much exposition crammed into too small of a space. And at the same time, I know I needed to give that information to the readers. And so what I encourage everyone to do when you feel like you have this thing called writer's block is, number one, look at your personal life. I think oftentimes that's going to block you. You're more life blocked than you are writer blocked. But sometimes you get subconsciously frustrated with where you're at in your story. You might not like where your characters are taking you or where the story is headed, or you can't seem to be able to shoehorn your story into the plot that you have laid out, and so you get stuck. And I find almost always when you have writer's block, you in your mind have some kind of disagreement with your story, your characters, your plot, whatever it might be, and you really need to weed out all the noise, all the distractions, and sit down. And some people who are pantsers might be able to just type through that and figure it out and move on. And they might not even suffer from this nearly as much as me. I'm mostly a plotter, but I do pants every now and then. I wear pants every now and then, and so I think it's just important. Analyze what is blocking you in your writing if you want to figure out why you have writer's block. And so there you have it. I hope this explanation is helpful for those who are suffering from writer's block. If you've got ways that you deal with writer's block, please put a comment down below. Subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content and similar stuff. And as always, I will catch you all next time.